Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So it's recording. So you're a data analyst in this. I really don't like reading. So in tweets, you supply this. Okay, so you said you've been given the data set.
Yes.
Yes, I dropped it on the chat as well.
Oh, okay. So hold on. Let me open my Postgres. Okay, PG admin. Okay, cool. Let me see. So I want to assume that you guys know how to read data in SQL. I'm assuming that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Bros, please, no assumption now. We might know, but we don't. We wouldn't know that we know.
Okay. One of the most important thing in SQL is the CRUD functionality. That is create, read, and you guys can just note: create, read, update, and delete. So create is, of course, you create your database and create your table. You read is where you do your select all from the table. Your update is when you do update, table name, whatever it is you want to update. And the delete is your drop, either you drop your database or you drop your table or you drop a column in your database. So those are like the 4 important things you guys should know. And in terms of how SQL works, it works. Since you guys are coming from a place of Excel, I would explain it in that light. So in Excel, you have your workbook and your worksheet, right? So your worksheet is found inside your workbook, and you create your tables inside your worksheet. So the same thing with SQL. You have your database, you have your server where your database resides, and you have your table. Your table you can't create a table without having a database. So that is really important to really know. And you guys might not really appreciate it until I would think until maybe when you start using it. And because it's something, like Microsoft Excel, you have the interface. All you just need to do is just to start typing. In SQL, you have to be deliberate. So whatever kind of design you want to do, our advice usually, most often than not, that you mentally have like a plan of what you intend to do. You have it somewhere, whether mentally in your head, or you write it down if you are a visual person. Because I would tell you frankly that it's a very, very boring stuff. It's boring, extremely boring. I will tell you that for free. So so this is my Postgres. If I remember correctly, I hope I remember the password. Oh, cool. That's interesting. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. So I am going to import that particular do I need to go through the interface and show you what is what? Is that really important?
You can, please.
Okay, so this is your Explorer. So it's where you have anyways, the PG admin is like your management studio, where you have the same way with Excel, you have interaction with your data and do some analysis. So the PG admin is like that. And on your left here, this Object Explorer is where anything you do with regards to creating a database or creating a server or creating a table, you get to see them here. what else? So let me see. So I this is my database. This is my server, Postgres SQL 16. These are my different databases. I have cam food, somebody's name and stuff. If you want to locate your table, you have to go to schema. You drop down, you click on the arrow button, and you locate table. If you click on the drop down here, you then see the possible tables that are in your table. By the time you click on each of these drop down, then you now start seeing things, the properties, the columns that are there, which is your title for each of your columns. So if you click down, you can see I have everything here. So this constraint, what it means is, if you've done some I don't know if they've taught you guys about primary key, foreign key yet, not null, auto increment and stuff like that. I don't know if they've taught you guys that.
They taught us like primary key and secondary key, but they did not teach us how to like give it like a conditional format when it comes to constraints.
Okay, so those are what they call constraint. You are telling, okay, so for instance, when you say name, for instance, usually a name column, what kind of data type should a name column have, if I would ask?
Text.
Either text or
Varchar.
variable character. Varchar is called variable character, and there's a reason why they call it variable character. It's in its the meaning is in its word itself, variable, something that changes, then characters. Everything you see, your name, your alphabet, numbers, maybe money value, those are characters. So if, say for instance, the word name it has 4 alphabets, right? So what that means is that the word name has 4 characters. So if you are dealing with analytics on a more advanced level, they call them characters. The reason why they are called varchar, variable character, is because you can mix both what you call alphabet and numbers and special characters. So just like the way you do your password, you put something at 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Those are what they call variable character, when you mix alphabet, number, and special characters like at. So for instance, your email address is usually variable character, because, so let's say you have your email address as your first name, last name. You always have the at sign, then either gmail.com, and the dot too. Those are at and dot, those are special characters. But your name, the Gmail, then the com, those are alphabets, right? And sometimes you might want to say, like Mr. Sonny has a funny Gmail account. So those are variable character, when you mix alphabet, numbers, and special characters like at, dot, slash, asterisk, some things like that. And so the bracket, open bracket, close, you usually put in your variable character, then you put a number. You are telling that particular column that you don't want more than that number of characters. So if you put 4 in it, if you put 5, if you put 10, it means that whatever you are going to impute cannot be more than 10 characters if you are going to count each alphabet or each number or each thing you can actually see there. You understand? So for instance, my name is Liu, L-I-U, Liu. So if I put name and I'll put varchar and I'll put 3, for instance, in the bracket, open bracket, close, it means that it can only take any name that has only 3 alphabets. That's what that means. I don't know if that's clear.
Yes, thank you.
Am I wasting time? Am I making sense?
No, you are not. So we'll be responding to you with reactions rather than unmuting and talking.
Actually, I'll prefer a reaction than a talk than a reaction, because I can't
Okay.
see my screen. I'm sharing my screen. I can't see it. So,
Okay.
in the place where you use text as a data type, is because you don't know the number of characters that you would have, which is why you just put text. So in issues like address, for instance, address are usually long. You don't have the energy and time to start saying how many characters are in address. Some people's address are very short, some people's address are extremely long, and being that it is moving up and down, you can't say, okay, I'm going to set, I will use varchar. It's not advisable to use varchar and you set the number of characters, because an address can take up to 200 characters, maybe alphabet mixed with numbers and a dot. Some people write the address very funny. Maybe some people want to write address, they write it with landmark. So it's advisable for columns like that, the data types are text. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does.
Yes, it does.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, for some weird reason, get that out of the way. So
I want to ask a question before you continue.
please ask.
Your PG admin environment, I'm seeing some chats.
Oh, these are just back-end based stuff. These things actually take space, it takes processing power. It will tell you the different sessions I've run and stuff like that. These are like computing stuff. You don't really need to worry about this. It's not really really important for you to worry about this. For some weird reason, they just keep like an analytics dashboard for all of this stuff. For some weird reason, I really don't know why, but it's not really a thing of concern per se. I don't know if that makes sense. So every time I want to write a query, I think you just go to query tool. In your tool, what's the name of this stuff again? Your toolbar. In your toolbar, you go to tools and just click on query tool. And because I have several databases here, you really need to specify. I have 3 databases here. You really need to specify what database you want to use. So it's really important. So you use what they call the use function. You tell use and you say, then you call the name of your database. I want to believe that was taught. Then you click on F5. So apparently Postgres don't use. I don't know what they use, frankly. This is interesting. Okay, I think it automatically went to the camp food database. Let me see if I have a table there. In MySQL, you have to use for some weird reason. You just tell it which database for it you want to read from. So I think by and let me see. Okay, so please discard the use function, because it created so you see this can you guys see this up here?
Yes.
So it's already telling me that I'm using the camp underscore food. You understand? So it's already telling me that, so I don't really need to bother about it. Yep. So what else? And so do you guys know why this is an asterisk here?
That is
It's
odd.
selecting the
Seven
entire table.
checker.
Yeah, cool. So that's good. And so with SQL, the most important thing for you is the read functionality, and the read functionality goes like this: select from where I think is group by, having an order by, but it's mostly in this order, but they have an order to which they run, but this it's mostly in this order. Your select is for your column, your from is for your table. Anytime you want to make reference to your column, it's mostly in the select. That's by default. Anytime you want to make reference to your table, it's mostly in your from. Your where is your if condition. If you want to give certain condition, you remember in Microsoft Excel, your if function, your else if, all of those things that have criteria and conditions. Okay, where state is equal to tx, this is where you put it. So if you want to set a condition by of reading your file, like you want to do like a filter, so it's in your where. Your group by is mostly used if you are using, I think used if you are using aggregate function, and your aggregate function is mostly in your select. So aggregate function like sum, count, average, mean, max. Does that make sense? So anytime you do this, you need to do a group by anytime. Remember in your pivot table, let me see, in your, sorry please, let me just shoot up my Microsoft Excel, because I would always want to make reference to it, because that's where you guys are coming from. So okay, you have a question, please ask.
Yes. Sorry, please, I'm sorry to
No problem.
disturb at this time.
No problem.
Please, I just want to ask if it's possible for us to record this session.
I'm recording it. I would share it with you guys. I'm recording it.
Okay, thank you so much.
It's been recorded. Can you guys see my screen? So I'm already recording it. So I'm just going to share. Yeah, I will share it on a link that you guys can download.
Thank you.
No problem. Let me see. Which data should I use? Okay, so I'll use one of my datas. Sorry, I'm taking you guys back to Excel. So I have this data, right? And let's say I want to do a pivot table. So what you use pivot table to do is summary. It's the same thing you do in SQL. Because you might be wondering, okay, why SQL? Why not use Excel? Now there is a limitation to what Excel can do. Excel can only process not more than 1,048,576 rows. The reason why you use SQL is because, and once you start having your number of rows is up to 20,000, 30,000. I think the highest I've done is like 200,000 on Excel. If your system is not powerful, it becomes very, very slow. Now, SQL is the alternative to Microsoft Excel in such a way that it's faster, lightning fast. And so you don't have a lot of time to be going through your data set, what is what. So a lot of times you want to be doing summary of your data set. So let's say, for instance, I want to do a summary of, I don't have maybe the luxury of doing a count or writing formula. I want to do a summary of the regions I have by what amount of data. Well, I just need to do, the easiest way to do is just to click on your pivot table, right? By the time you click on your pivot table, you just say region, and you can just click and do an aggregate where here in this value here. So automatically, if I click and drag my region to this particular value, it will automatically do a count. It's intuitive enough to say what you are doing is not doesn't have numeric values, so I'm going to do a count. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me see if I have anything that has to do with number. Oh, so I have something that has to do with number on my J column, right? So I'm going to add the J column, which is my MRC. Once I click and drag, it is intuitive enough to know that it is numeric value, so it's going to do a sum. If I want to do a count of it, I have to manually go to my values, down click here, go to value field setting, and go to a count. Go to the count. Now you can see everything you have here are what they call aggregate. So you can see things you want to summarize by. So sum, count, average, max, mean. They have some other stuff here for Excel, but majorly your aggregate functions are sum, count, average, mean, max in SQL. Now, so which is what you can see here. So if you see this, you know this is your aggregate function: count, average. Yeah, basically I can see 3 aggregate functions in this particular when they say queries to consider. So most likely you do an aggregate function here. I don't know if that makes sense. So I could just quickly give you guys an example of okay, I'm going to do an aggregate function of total purchase. I want to know the total purchase by state, for instance. What I'm just going to do is to say select. Now, in doing aggregate function, you have to be, again, mentally you have to mentally design what exactly are you trying to do. What are you trying to do? Do I want to aggregate by the whole of, by 1 column, 2 columns, and like that? So, but you can see now, before I started, I say want to do an aggregate of, want to know the total purchase by state. So total purchase by state, the total purchase, you can see they are a number, right? And the state, you can see they are text or varchar. So if I say by state, it means that the first column I'm going to call is the state column. Then I'm going to say comma. The next thing I'm going to do is to do a sum, being that I know that what I'm trying to do, the column I'm trying to do a sum of is numeric. And so I would say a sum of total underscore purchase. Then to make it readable, I can give it an alias, which is why they use as total. Then I will say from my table, which is what's my table again? Buyer underscore info. Then I'm going to, the next thing I'm going to do is group by. Remember I told you, then what are you grouping by? You are grouping by the first column, which is state. Always end your query with a semicolon. The reason is because you write multiple query on one query tools, then F5. Now if I run it, it's going to take some time, and you can see it has given me a summary of the state by what was purchased. I don't know if that makes sense. Now if I say, oh no, I don't want everything, I just want New York, for instance, or Texas, or Illinois, or Minnesota, and stuff like that, then I'm now giving a condition. Now if you want to now do a condition, is where, and where comes immediately after from. So I'm going to say where what. So I'm saying, okay, I just want for New York, for instance. So it's where state equal New York. And because it's variable character, you always put your inverted comma. Then I'll say NY. And I'm done. And once I run it again, it will just show me for just New York alone. I don't know if what I've explained has given any context or value. Okay, cool. So that being said, the other thing I can actually say is
sorry, please.
No
please,
problem.
Can you please? Sorry. Please, can you revise the last thing you did?
Okay, so the last thing I did was the where, right? The reason why the question is, let's say I don't want to see everything. I just want to see only NY, the state. That's what I'm interested in seeing. I don't want to see everything. I just want to filter for just NY. Total purchase by just where the state is New York, for instance. So you are now adding a condition to your query. So it is, if you are now adding a condition to your query, you always go to your where. There's also having, but where is mostly used. Now you are now saying that where state is where state is NY. So you use equal to sign, or the an assignment operator. This equal to is you are assigning state equal NY. I just want to see for only NY. I don't want to see for anything. Maybe I have so much data, and in fact, the question, somebody wanted to know the cost of purchase just by New York. The person, maybe your client who gave you this particular data set is only interested in just New York alone. And so you can see now you have now filtered your query to just what concerns you. So SQL is you only do things that concern you. I don't know if that makes sense. So you are more focused. It's not like your spreadsheet that you see everything. In SQL, you are just trying to do a summary of, or you are trying to chip off some data out of the main bucket of data you are asked to do some analysis on. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense.
I hope I'm not speaking too big grammar and English.
No, you are not. You are not.
Okay, so that's cool.
I am at that point where I've not been able to go out of this thinking. So now we have done this and we can see the output. So this is me, the data analyst, doing this. So what output will I show my customer, for instance? Like if we use the other, we do visualization with the other tools, I can show my customer the other tool. I noticed that there's somewhere on PG admin, just by that, where we have graph visualizer. Is that what we're supposed to use to show our customers? Or this is just the back end, and it's back end, we just need this to explain to our customers? That is me thinking. I don't know about other people, but that I've not been able to unlock it.
Okay. So you can do SQL integration to things like visualization tools like Power BI. I hope you know that.
Yes, but I've not tried it. But I figured that yes, I can import it to Power BI.
So if you want to give maybe stakeholders are funny, so they might not want to be seeing a lot of numbers. The way I will answer this question is, it depends on your requirement. What requirement? So the first thing, let nobody give you data and just say analyze data. Don't ever, as a data analyst, don't ever accept that. Because you should know the question that we need answering to. First of all, maybe you don't work for the company, they just invited you as a consultant or as a data analyst. Sorry, I'll come to you. I'm just trying to respond to this. And you need to, so every time you are giving some data, ask for the requirement. What are you people looking for? So that you don't go helter-skelter. You don't start doing what they call exploratory data analysis. You are not there for that. You are there to solve problem. And you don't have the luxury of time. A lot of times they will ask you, so you need to know what problem are you having, what do you want to solve. Then you now know if you just give them in tabular format or you use visualization. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. But again, just like you said, we have some funny stakeholders, shareholders that we just say that is your work, so go and do and come up with
something. Professionally, don't do that. Please, I beg of you. Professionally, don't do that. Do not accept that. Not even from your teachers. They shouldn't give you anything and they'll just say go and explore. It doesn't make sense. It's I cannot phantom it, frankly. You are looking for a needle in a haystack. You will not see, you barely see it. And remember that each data analyst have a lens, a perspective to which they see data. Do you understand? Your approach, your
100%
design
I
is
agree
based
with you.
on your skills and your exposure. It's wrong for somebody to assume that you know everything. You don't know everything. What you know is what you know. So always ask for requirement. What are you looking for in this data? What problem? Oh, I have this problem I want to solve. You now ask, do you have data for it? Do you not? Even if you want to ask, do you have data? You will not say, do you have data for your company? You say, do you have data for that problem you want to solve? Does that make sense? Please, it's I cannot express that enough. You can ask your question now. Sorry,
It's okay, Mr. Leo. Thank you very much for your time. Honestly, I'm feeling your conversation. I'm feeling your teaching from the beginning. Now, before Mr. Sonny asks this question, it's a burden for me as well. So, but before we jump right in, I wish we have that luxury of time. The explanation you were doing before, the group buy and everything. Can we continue from on that pace?
no problem, no
So
problem. This
yeah,
is
I
just
will. Okay,
don't
okay.
worry, don't worry, no problem, no
The
problem,
explanation. Thank you.
no problem. No, there's no issue.
Yeah.
So going back to the problem at hand, I was just trying to show you guys just basic concept. We'll go back to this your call ends in 15 minutes. This is interesting. So we'll go back to the problem at hand, which is the data set. Yep. So task, create a database, supply and restore database into Postgres. Write a SQL code to extract the following insight from the database that will help you with business problem. What is the total? You can see. You can see even from your tasks, you are being given a requirement. This is your requirement, these questions. So if a company comes and say analyze data set, if they don't have a requirement, ask them for one. If they don't have one, suggest to them for one, and so that both parties should agree as to what they are looking forward to. I don't know if that makes sense. So this is what you call your requirement, your task, the question they are asking you. And now further question, and all of these questions most likely, they are asking you for a query for it. Does that make sense? So I'm very tempted to do this stuff for you guys. Okay. But maybe I'll just start and you guys will continue from there. Mr. Sonny, I don't know if that makes sense. Are we in alignment?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want
Yes,
to
Mr.
I don't want to spin food you guys. I really want you guys to do the work so you appreciate this thing. But I'll just start and hopefully it gives you an idea of how to continue. So the first thing, and please always read everything to the latter, like literally read everything. What if you don't know what it means? Ask somebody. If you don't know, the person doesn't know what it means, copy it, paste it in ChatGPT and ask, what does this mean? Please, it's really important. And so they say create a database called supply and restore the database into SQL. What they're asking you to do is this where is it? Okay, yeah. So this database is what you are going to restore after you have created your database. You restore this database into the one you've created. I don't know if that makes sense. So maybe we should just, Mr. Sonny, you want to say something?
No, just responded. I said yes.
So the first thing you do, you create. Of course, you want to create database, and you say supply. So with a capital letter, it's really important. Like you have to follow every every information to the latter. I'm going to run that. Let's see if it's going to be successful. I really don't like Postgres, to be frank, if you ask me. It's heavy. So now that I've created it, you see query return successful. It is, so this is your your notification bar. It tells you if something is wrong or if something is successful.
So from the query tool, we can actually create the database.
Yes, you can. We regardless of which database is active. Now, if you notice, I've created it, but you can't see it here, right?
Yes.
So what I'm just going to do is just to refresh. So you can now see 4. It's even telling you the number of, so you can see it's telling me 4, and look at it here, supply.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So it says restore this particular, this guy here. So I'm going to save it. I didn't save it. I'll save it now. Restore this particular database in that. So most likely they've written some complex query. Oh, I've saved it. Sorry. Most likely they've written this particular query somewhere. Everything has been set for you. They are just giving an instruction restore. So I have not tried this before, but I'm curious. So if you right click on your supply database, you can see restore, right? So you click on restore, the format, directory, the name. So you see this name file here is where you click and it will take you to the where your this file is located. And I saved my own file in my download directory. And so I'll just click here. It's gonna prompt will pop up where did you save your database, which is tf. Did I save it here? Sorry, let me check again. Let me go back to my WhatsApp. I wasn't sure. Save as oh, it's in download, so why am I not seeing it? This is interesting.
Change the path from directory to custom.
Oh, thanks. Let me do custom target and this. Oh, yes. This is interesting. Oh, okay, I can see my databases now. I click on download. This is where I saved it, and so I don't think I'm going to do anything here because I don't exactly know what is inside. So I'll just click on restore. Restoring backup on server, localhost this, restoring. So you can click on view processes. It will just tell you it has finished, so it's successful. And now when I'm done and I right click and refresh, let's see what is inside. Then you click on the drop down, go to schema. Schema is just focus on schema. Click on it, public. You can see table, click, and I have 3 tables there already. Are we at an alignment? Are we good?
Very well.
Okay, cool. And now what I can now do is, from what I've learned from SQL, I would just rather go to my table and click on, so on this my supply database, I would just rather go to my, maybe I think here, you can either click on the right click on the database you want to use and just go to query tool. I would prefer it because this thing is in camp food, which is this database. I would prefer just to go here. Just as a preference. And so now you can now that you've restored it, the next thing you are going to do is to read all the tables in your database. Okay, it's remaining 8 minutes. And so again, for you to read, anytime you are doing a read is So read, which is so I mentioned CRUD functionality. I might share this with you guys. So you have your create, read. So the create is the create database that we did, create table, read, update, and delete. So now what we want to do is to read, right? We want to see what we've imported. You bought a goods that is enveloped, you want to see what's inside, especially if you are buying, if you do some order online, so they don't send you pot when you request for knife. Okay, so you can see everything that is there. We have date, we have GDP, which is mostly money, inflation rate, rate is percentage, so seasonal factor, this is a ratio or percentage, factors year, that's the year. And so look at something, your sales date, you have 2021, you can look at the date here too, it's in integer, but the year here is 2021. The factor month is 9, so always try to look for patterns. That's like the first thing. So if you see 2018, you can see 2018 on my third row, and the third month, you can see my third month here. So it means that somehow this guy is related to this guy and this guy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the next thing you might want to do for exploratory purpose is to know how many rows of data you have, and you do an aggregate function called count. You want to count the number of rows, and you can say count all. It's allowed for you to do that from factors, then hyphen and F5. So it already is showing me 1005, but just for curiosity, down here it showed me 1005. Just for curiosity, try to do that. The next thing is for you to do is to check the other table. So me, I'm a very lazy person. I can copy. I'll just copy and paste, and I'm going to put products here, product, and I'm going to put product here as well. I think it can run multiple query, I'm not sure. So I'm just going to select the boot and F5. It will run multiple query. Oh, it doesn't run multiple query. That's interesting. Okay, so sorry.
Sorry, this function must it be typed in capital letter? Because if you type in lowercase, it accepts. So what is the rule?
It will work, right? It's an industry standard that every new person should suffer and type it in capital letter. It's industry standard. So you don't get used to the idea, right? You need to know what is a function and what is default as syntax in SQL, and what your variable is different from other things. So it's if not that they color this thing, you will know now. So it's a way to differentiate, but you can use small letter, capital letter, doesn't really matter. In fact, you can see, I can do like this and it will still work. Does that answer the question?
Yes, because most times I just use lowercase, but I notice in the class, even when they use lowercase, they will delete and type in.
It is just industry standard. See, it's industry standard. It's not. We want the new guys to suffer, because I think that's how we learned how to do SQL. Sorry about that. We're to peak regardless. Yeah. Oh God. So I am going to copy and paste. So 1,500 rows. So similar to this. So you can see that there's somewhat a comparison between my first table and my second table. All of them, the two of them now has 1,500 rows. So I'm just going to do for the next. And you can use your computer skills. Your computer skills are really important in knowing SQL. So all of those shortcuts, copy and paste, those are really important tools because you don't have time to be typing every time. Run it to see what I have. Oh, I didn't even view. So I have product ID, you know, sales date, inventory, and like that. And these two last column is related to this guy. I think if I check product too, I might see the same thing. So product ID, right? So product ID is just telling me that there's a relationship between this sales table and this product table. And most likely this is a foreign key. We might check. If I go to sales, I go to constraint. You can see there's one constraint under my, okay. They set a primary key. I'm interested in seeing what that is. What else? So I don't think they put a foreign key. They just did primary key. I hope you guys understand why primary key is important. The call will be ending in 1 minute.
So we can rejoin once it ends.
Yeah, I would just rather we do that now.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do that now. So I'll continue recording now. And so I can see my product ID as I mentioned, and I think it is somewhat related to the product, but out of curiosity, let me check. Oh, sorry, I did a count. Many apologies. So, like I said, there's some relationship. There's product ID existing here, and there's product ID existing here as well in the sales table. So there's some form of relationship. What does that mean? It means that I can join these two guys together. That's what it means, because there is a relationship. Even though you don't put it in the constraint, usually we advise to put it, but there's a relationship. Yes. Let me see the factor again. I don't know if there's anything relating to the factor. Maybe the date. Yeah, the date is a relationship between the product and sales table. Sorry, does anybody want to ask any question?
No.
Okay, cool. So now they said, which of the questions should I work on? So that you guys work on the rest.
Okay, so like I said, in they have even worked on all the questions. So it's just for us to emphasize. On my own part, sorry, there's this question that sorry, let me.
Or you want to do the more technical part, which is something like this?
No, just a moment. Hold on, please. Okay, we can work on. There's this question that did the promotion significantly impact the sales quantity of products?
I think I saw it somewhere. Which?
Go to the next.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, question 5.
Okay.
So I think let's try that. Then any other person can bring any question you want us to try. Then we can ask questions.
Let's see, sales table. Product cost, inventory quantity, not really. Let's see product. Oh, promotions. So we can the first thing you now do is to join both product and sales. That's the first thing you should do. Does that make sense? So I should answer that question, right? The reason why I'm doing a join is because I want to have a whole context. Don't know if that makes sense. So I'll do select, and I'm not going. Should I do an inner? No, just do join. Select all. Now you can choose so you have to choose the first table you want to join with, or whatever table you are joining with. So from select all from, let's say, do we do product first? And you can give it an alias maybe say PD, and you don't need to use the as. PD is fine. You just say PD, then there are different kinds of join, but I'll just use join. Join sales as, I give it an alias of as or s on pd dot product id equal s dot product id. I want to leave that, and yep. Oh, sorry, I did F5. Let's see. Oh, that is interesting. So you can see, I don't know, notice something. Let me drag this stuff up. Notice that our product ID matches with the product ID in the sales column. Just look at it, there's a relationship, which is why I said one was a foreign key, which is the product ID in the sales table. Now, I before we continue, I want to explain. I just want to digress a little. So, can anybody just explain to me in however you understand what they mean by primary key, foreign key? I just want to get like. Who wants to volunteer?
Okay, maybe. Well, let me just try. For example, I'm from Nigeria. I'm a primary key in Nigeria because I'm from Nigeria, Ondo State. I'm a primary key there. But I'm in the UK too. I'm a foreign key here because I'm a foreigner.
True.
All right.
Who has a different context?
Okay, let me try. Primary key is a unique identifier, and it cannot have like duplicates or non-values.
I love that answer. I love that answer. I love that answer. You said it all. I think it's Ms. Olufunke that answered the first question. So you gave it from a practical perspective, a real world situation, and is it Miss or Mrs. Oluchi brought it from a technical perspective. So you guys are both correct. Cool. I love the answer. So I want to imagine everybody has similar answer to that. So a primary key is something that is unique to a specific role in a table. There's no repetition. Primary key will never repeat itself. If it does, it's no more a primary key. So you see that serial number, you usually will click, and Excel you click and drag. Those are primary keys, just so you know. And a foreign key is a primary key in another table. So a foreign key, like the person that gave an example of UK, is a representation of where the person is in a different place. Make sense? Yeah. So I just wanted to get that out. Trust me, you guys will not appreciate this stuff when you start practicing. It's really interesting for me. Especially it's like the backbone of software engineering. Every website you see, every software you use, this is the backbone. If you understand this very well, it's very easy for you to transition if you want to. So they were talking about promotion, if it affected, if it affected sales quantity. So they are not talking about sales, but the quantity of product that was sold. So what are we going to do? We are looking at promotion, and what will promotion be under this condition? They're asking, does promotion affect sales quantity? So we're now going to do a comparison, and you see promotion, yes, no, yes, no. So we are going to do a comparison between promotion and inventory quantity. What do you mean by sales out? So we are going to do promotion by, okay, sorry, hold on, just trying to see. Yeah, so we are going to do it by okay, cool, by inventory quantity, and because it's the only thing here that has quantity. And so the first thing we would do is, inside is our select all. The promotion is part of the product table, right? So we'll do pd.promotion. Promotions, yeah, comma. Then the inventory quantity is part of the sales table. So you say s dot inventory quantity. I don't know if not calling it would, the s dot would, let me try. Let me just say inventory quantity, and I'm curious. So SQL is Postgres is cool. So you can actually call it without that. But this is the reason why I'm putting that pd.promotion, is just to give you a mental picture of where your promotions is, so that you don't mistaking it that, oh, it belongs to a different table, meanwhile it's for another table. I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense. I think it's good to put the table there.
pd dot s dot. So the next thing we want to do an aggregation. What kind of aggregation? We want to do a sum. Why? We want to know if yes, no. We want to know the quantity of yes and no by we want to know the quantity of yes and no. So we are now going to do an aggregation. What are we going to aggregate? We are going to aggregate sum, because why? This is numeric. Does that make sense? There are instances you use a count, but what we are looking for is bulk. Like, does it affect? So is number of, you understand? So we could do sum, and we'll say s dot inventory. Oh, sorry. S dot inventory quantity. Is the session boring? I just wanted to ask. So
no, it's not.
So the next thing we also want to do is to say,
It's not boring. No.
So we are going to do a group by, right? Because we've done aggregate, so we'll do a group by. And what are we grouping by? We're doing group by pd.promotions. Oh, sorry.
If I may ask, why did you call out the sales inventory quantity twice? Can't we just use one sum, like the sum aggregate you are using?
Oh, thank you. Sorry, thank you. Many apologies. Thank you for, it would have given me an error actually. No, not really an error, but it would just be weird. Thank you for noticing that. Yeah, so now I'm going to run. Oh, join. Oh.
The join, I think join is supposed to come before group, right? Or there's no hierarchy.
No, okay, Cool. Let me try
Join
that.
is supposed to come before.
If it left for me, I would have written a sub query.
We're doing it, whichever you just put us through.
Okay, so thanks for that. Left for me, I would have just done a sub query. So you can see the no yes. Now the other thing we want to do is we want to see we'll do it in descending order. What does that mean? It means that the one with the highest number will be in the first row, right?
Yes.
So we are going to do order by. So anytime you want to do sorting, alphabetical, numeric, from A to Z or Z to A, big to small, small to big, something like that. So we'll do order by. What are we ordering by? We'll order by this guy here, and we can use the alias by total sum. Now by default, if you do it like this, it will give you in ascending order by default, or you can say ascending if you want, but by default it's in ascending, so you need to specify descending. And so it means that descending is the big to small, and would highlight this, run. So the question now is, did promotion affect sales quantity? What will be the answer? Mr. Sonny, what will be the answer?
No, it did not affect. When there was no promotion, we sold more from what I'm seeing.
So, does this now make sense? You can see that the question now, you can use numbers to answer it. It does make sense, right?
Yes, okay, so in the video, the union function was used.
I really don't know what the union does,
Okay.
frankly. The other way I could write this is, I'm going to write a subquery. What a subquery means is a query inside another query, right?
Inside the query, yes.
So I'm going to do, again, I'll write the same inner from join. I don't know, again, I really don't know the context of union. I don't use it that often.
Because the union function is maybe working on my own.
Oh.
Yes.
Me, it worked earlier, but now I'm trying to run the same query. It's giving me error.
So I'll do a join sales. No, sorry, from, again, you guys already know I want to do a join first. So I'll do from product PD join sales s on PD dot product ID equal sales dot product ID. So this is my initial query, right? Still give me the same. What did I do? Oh, promotions. Oosh, sorry. So the other thing I would draw your attention is attention to details. It's really important. Some people, I mean, a group, if you see the kind of question they used to ask on top of somebody missed something in a it's very funny. So this is my initial query. Now I want to do I want to write a subquery to solve this problem. I usually would use subqueries in this context. So I'm going to do another select. Now this time around, I'll say select promotions. Promotions, comma, then I'll do a sum of inventory quantity. And you can see I'm no more calling it by the table, and I'll now say from. Now where is my new table? My new table is this query I've written, right? Because when I highlighted everything, this will show this is my new query. This is my new table. So this query will now be a subset of the first query that is here. So that's why they call it subquery. So I'm just going to put this in the bracket and click down and just copy that guy, Control X, and I'm just going to put it here. And to make it look nice by syntax, you can just give it a space. Usually you want to make your code, your syntax look nice. So I can run it. Oh yeah, so when I'm done, now I'm going to do my group by. Remember, this is my code, this is my table, this subquery now is my new table. So I'm now going to do a group by promotions, and I'm going to do order by I forgot to name this guy as total quantity, and I'll do total underscore quantity. Again in descending order. I'll run it. So it gives me the same thing. So I usually would use subquery for this because I don't want to get confused really. I've never used a join and a group, so I really didn't know in what order they come. I don't really have a lot of energy and time to be memorizing fundamentals most often than not. So I learn by practical approach. So, but do you guys understand what the subquery does? Or in this context, what the subquery does? Okay. You want to ask a question or?
No.
Okay, you understand? Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
You don't?
No.
Oh,
No.
so remember when we wanted to view our table and do a join, we use this, right?
Yes.
This was so maybe I'm just going to copy it somewhere. I'm going to copy it and paste it here so that one wanted to do a join because we noticed that there was a connection between sales and product table. This is the query we wrote. The query in itself is a table. This query that you've written is a table, right? Just like you can see here. Is that not? And being that we want to now do aggregation on this table, that this is the output of our first query we wrote, I'm saying that you can write a query, promotion, do a sum by inventory, then this from, when you say from, you are now referring to a table. Now, instead of me to say maybe from product or from this, I've already written a subquery that gave me a table, a unique table that concerns me. I'm now copying this and putting it inside the where my table is supposed to be. After all, this query gave me a table, so this is now my new table I want to work on. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay. Any other question? Okay, no questions. And the reason why I like using subquery, you see, I really got confused here, right? And besides, I didn't even know how the hierarchy works. So this is just easier for me. And it's more, so if they now say, so this is you doing you are querying and doing an aggregate function. Then in some interview, they will say, do you have experience with writing subquery? You can say yes, and you tell them how you use subquery to just specify the table you want to use, and you do an aggregate on it. It's just cool to have to know. It's really important. It's cool to know. Does that make sense? So, Mr. Sonny, I don't know if I've answered that particular question.
Yes. Thank you very much. So I will allow others to ask questions. Let's just ask as much as we can. Let's stretch on little blood out of ecosystem.
Okay. Any other question from any other person? Please, if you don't understand, um, what I usually tell people if we are doing interactions like this is you can ask any stupid question. Any question is welcome, stupid or sensible, as much as it is relevant. I don't know if that makes sense. So please, let it just be relevant. Don't ask a smart question that is irrelevant. Ask any question, stupid or smart, but let it be relevant. So please ask questions. Part of the things I look out to is I really want people I want to have people I interact with on a technical level. I really want people to understand this stuff. Like, I want people to understand this stuff so that when I talk, I don't want to talk too much. I don't know if that makes sense. So I appreciate questions.
Okay, so let me just give you one hint here. See Mrs. Oluchibianka. She will ask you all the questions on this air. She's just taking her time.
But
I don't have any questions actually for now.
okay. I hope my explanation is very, very clear.
Yes, it is.
Okay, the other thing I want to do, just to confirm, I'm going to go to ChatGPT. Again, we are doing problem solving. This is a class, but we are doing problem solving in a real life situation. Maybe I don't understand what the English meant. I can now copy it and paste it here. I'll ask ChatGPT, what does this mean in SQL? You guys are allowed to use this. Oh, this is interesting. So you see, here's an example of comparing. Whether there is a notable difference in the number of products sold during promotional sales compared to none. To do this, identify the promotion period. So it's working with time frame, and look for average sales. This makes sense. So what I'm now going to tell it now, because I asked it a question, I just gave it a global question. Now I want to tell it now that CEO, there's no time frame. The promotion is that a yes or no. Let's see what it's going to say. So you can now see, right? So it's also advising us to do an average sales. Do we do that and see?
Yes, let's do.
So we can now do comma, average. Oh, wait, let's go back to the instruction, right? Let's see. Oh, there's average, so some average count. Cool. So we can now do average and do this guy. Again, what you are doing is basically exploratory data analysis. You are just trying to find out if the same applies to both. If one function, two function applies to one thing. So average quantity, maybe average quantity sold. So I'm going to order by this guy, then order by this guy. here. Quantity sold. Let's see what's going to happen. Can you guys see the numbers now?
Yes.
So you can see that years is 44,322. Average is 51.35. No is 46,903. Average is 51.94. So it's just it's reinforcing your first response, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So it means no, as Mr. Sonny said. So you can now say no because when we do a total, when we do a summation of the total inventory sold, we find out that there's this variance. So you can now do the variance, right? You can say there's this variance between when there was promotion and this, and even if we went by average sales, this is the variance. Something like that as to respond to the question. If you want to speak English, left for me, I'll just say no and move on. But you need
when you
evidence.
say variance, does it mean like you subtract?
Yes, you can do it.
So if they now say what recommendation can we can give?
Don't promote. Don't do any promotion. The promotion is a waste of your
money.
money. Obviously, because you do promotion, you didn't do promotion. You sold more. Both average and total quantity is more. So it's a waste of it. You know, if you are doing promotional sales, you reduce your margin, your cost margin, right?
Yes.
So no, you get. In this case, no. So it now depends on season. You can now do exploratory data analysis on the season, the time. I don't know if that makes sense. But based on
if we analyze the data and
if you further do
by
analysis,
time,
you can now there's what they call seasonality. If you are doing a time series analysis, you know those forex stuff.
yes, the peak.
Yeah, so there's what they call seasonality. In December, there's a lot of spending, even though see this is the thing also business wise. Mr. Sunday, do you want to say anything? Sorry.
I know you can continue when you finish.
So business wise, in our company, for instance, we sell products, we sell internet. Usually our salesperson will tell you that by December companies are closing, so it means money will not come in like that, right? But does it mean that people don't spend money in December? People spend money in December, but not on, not on that. So you see that the businesses that will boom December, meat, rice, those food items, and maybe clubs and parties and stuff. Those are what people are. So you can now look at seasonality as well. If you want to further go into it, like you want to exhaust all the options, you can now look at seasonality. I don't know if that makes sense, but just by entry level analysis, just by yes, no, because already there's a yes, no, it doesn't, promotion doesn't really affect sales quantity.
Okay. Thank you.
You can further do a seasonality analysis by, you now do a measurement by the months. If we want to, you guys can do that. I wouldn't want to do that, but you guys can do that. Does that make sense?
Don't even know how to do this.
No, now you just look at, you do month by month analysis by some of the quantity that was sold, and you now do if on that month if it was yes. But there's a lot of moving part to that, but you can do that as well. I'm just thinking aloud.
You can see it's easier for you. You are
It's
used to it. You know, we are just learning.
sorry.
We are just learning.
Yeah,
Just
so
starting. Just starting.
yeah. I like to exhaust all options to test like that. So it's one of the stuff. It's one of those specs. You test every options, but you don't need to. But based on the fact that because I know if you go into seasonality now, they will look at maybe this person is doing it too low. You know, Mr. Sonny already did something.
Okay, so it's good you're talking about seasonality. If you check the factor table, we have season there. So can we go further and play with this question?
I will advise us not to. It will cause a lot of confusion. But on your own, you can. I'd advise us not to. But I can, oh. It's just that I don't know how to start explaining those stuff. But for the case of, yeah, let's see. Um, uh, okay. Let's see factors. Oh, true. Advise us not to.
Is it because of how the data is, or
No,
like the
no.
number?
It is the complication of if you start putting seasons into it's a very, very complicated stuff. You are moving into so if you are doing a time series analysis, you are no more doing data analytics.
It's finished.
Mr. Sonny,
Sir?
I don't know if that makes sense, but if you want to, you can. But I'm very sure there's a reason why they put this seasonal factor.
So there are questions, because it's a total of 10 questions. I think about 10 questions. There's a question where we use season, but since we can relate.
Look at, they're asking you now, what's the correlation between inflation rate? You know, now they are now talking on a monthly basis. So this is a time series. They are asking you a time series specific question. But this, not really. They're asking you promotion and sales. Our sales quantity. I would advise you not to go to seasonality. Advice. Unless if they come up with something like inflation rate, monthly basis over last year. Do you want us to treat this question?
Yes.
Mr. Sunny, do you want us to treat this question?
Yes, please.
So what's the correlation between inflation
Yeah, why are you
rate?
laughing? I also want yes now. That's why I'm laughing.
Okay, so they say what's the correlation between inflation rate and sales quantity for all product combined? All product combined. Okay, cool. On a monthly basis over last year. Okay, so inflation rate, sales quantity last year. That's the things I can pick from it. But if you are curious, you can ask the opinion of somebody else's or ChatGPT or any of this thing. So inflation rate. So it means we have to combine inflation rate and what? Product. And the relationship is in the sales date. The relationship is in the sales date. So you have to do a join. Mr. Sandy, you want to say anything?
No. Sorry, let me mute my side. It's just external noise.
We will do this and we'll ask what is the opinion of ChatGPT. Oh, Okay. No, okay. No. Sales, not product. Many apologies. Sales is the one that has inventory quantity, right? Is the one that has inventory quantity and date, right? So we are going to do a join, and I will just join everything so that I would, if I do the join of everything, I will now know what I want to leave out and what I want to keep. So I'm just going to do sales. Sales will come first, and what's the other one? Factors will come. I'll just put F, where S dot dot sales date equal F dot sales date. Okay, so we now have something to look out for. So they say inflation rate, inventory quantity last year. Now, I don't know what last year is in this case.
I think it's 1 year. 2021 or so.
So when they say over the last year, so we'll look at the current year and look at the one that came before. The current year, which is the latest, the highest year in this particular place. So what I can do is to go to maybe select distinct, and I'm going to say factor here in this case, factors here. I'll just pick one of that and do from factors, and I just want to see the list of year, and look at the one that is, so the highest year is the current, last will be what precedes before. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I want to do highest. I think this is in integer, so I'll just do order by. Again, let's assume that there's a lot of data there. We're just assuming, and I'm just doing due diligence. I'll just say descend, just because I want to see the highest, and because it's in integer, it should give you the highest first. So 2022, so it means that they are talking about 2021, as rightly said by, I don't know who made that. So we can now give our join a condition. We would say where factors underscore year is, now since it's integer, it's just 2021, and I keep doing control enter instead of F5. So we've now moved to 2021. So we're now going to now talk about inflation rate and inventory quantity. Do we have unique on a monthly basis? Okay, sorry please, I'm thinking out aloud. So I also want to check if we have distinct inflation rate. I'm just curious to see. And so I'm going to do inflation rate. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm trying to do.
Yes.
So I don't need an order by in this case. I just want to see if we have a sizable number of inflation rate. Oh, this is 390. It's not sizable. 390 rows. It's not sizable. Is he allowed to do a sum of inflation rate? I think, is it? Oh, sorry, my PC is about to go off.
And even our time is about to go off, so if it goes off, we can. The same time is flying too fast today.
No, it is not. Oh. It's actually not. Oh, thank God. I don't know if it's allowed to, but let's assume. Okay, I don't understand the question. I'll just do a. I'll just copy it.
I think it's average inflation rates that will.
Oh, that makes sense. So I don't need to ask. So inflation rate, sales quantity. So we'll do, if we are doing average inflation rate, we'll do average sales. Then month on month last year. So we are going to do, back to this place. So we are going to, the columns we are going to keep are maybe sales date, factors year, factor month, inflation rate, inventory quantity. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes.
So we can do s.sales date, comma. This guy belongs to the factors table. So we'll do f dot factors. Oh, we don't need factors here again, right? We just need the factors month. Month, comma, f dot, we might do s dot inventory quantity. Please, if you get confused anywhere, let me know. Then f dot inflation rate. So I'm going to run it again just to, I don't want every data, I just want this. So we are going to group by factor month. We'll take average inventory, which one would make sense to come before? Which of the columns should come before between inflation rate and quantity? Just for aesthetic purpose, I don't know, just asking. Mr. Sonny, do you have any suggestion?
I think the quantity should come before inflation rate.
Okay, good. So if that is being said, we are now going to do, you said average, so we'll do average, which makes sense. So the reason why we are doing average, we can also do sum. Do we do sum of inventory? Let's do sum of inventory as well, just to test our theory. Then we'll do average of V, then we'll now do average then, mind you, we've done average for this. Now we have to group by these guys. So we are going to group by S dot. Actually, you don't need to do the S dot, but so you can see I forgot the F dot factor month actually. So it's not really necessary, but you can do that. And let's see. Hopefully, it doesn't give us an error. I usually expect errors. I don't usually expect queries to work most often than not. So the other thing I also want to do is to do the factor month by, I want to order it January to December if there's a December. Sorry. Order by factor month, factors underscore month, and I don't need to do ascending or descending because by default it will come in descending. I could easily give this an alias as average sold quantity I'll just do average like this. Copy this guy because I'm too lazy. Oh, mind you, I'm a very lazy person, just so you know. So I think it's one of the reasons why I chose data analytics. Then average inflation, I'll just say underscore rate. Oh, and you don't need to, if your code is too long, you could just enter and enter. It's still fine. Then just make it aesthetically nice by doing tab, and it still will work. And run. Okay. I think the sales date is affecting our so the sales date is giving like a day-to-day activity. So I think we should do it just month on month because it's affecting the outcome of our output. So because they already said last year, so we filtered for last year, and they said month on month. So I will just remove the sales date. Sorry. And I'll remove group by this. So we have like a clearer picture. Cool. So average inflation rate was can you guys see this?
Yes, you can see.
So I think the inflation rate should come before I don't know. It should come before. I don't know. So when average inflation rate was 2.65, so console was 449. When it was 3 point, that's interesting.
We should round it.
Okay, we should round this, right? We'll do a round.
Yes.
Where is the average? So we can do round. You add the function round, and you sorry. Okay, go round. Oh, why is he writing round elsewhere? I'll round and say in maybe 2 decimal place. I'll do the same thing for this other average. But it's looking like round is not part of that for Postgres. I'm curious. Let's see if it is going to run an error. Oh, it ran. It ran nice. So we can do a correlation. We can export this data and plot a graph. I'm going to save result. I'll save my result. It's going to pop up somewhere. I'll go to download or anywhere, and I'll now open it in Excel and plot a graph. Yeah, so I'll do Control O. If you want to look at it based on observation, you can, but it's just easier for me. If I plot the graph, we would see the correlation if there is any. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, please.
You guys sound like you are bored.
We are not bored. Okay, so now we are trying to understand. So just like I said, if we are just starting, so when we see questions, how do we relate to it? So we will start solving our question. Sorry, you may have to do how you copy this. I got a little distracted, but I think this meeting was so. How many minutes do we have?
How I copied, I just click on download.
Download.
Yeah.
Okay.
F8. So it will save this particular table for you. Remember, every query you display is a table. Every query you display is a table on its own, and you can use that set table for whatever it is you want to use it to do. Sorry, please let me pick this call and just respond to. So we can do a line chart. So I can just highlight this, go to insert, go to line. I just click what is there. This is interesting. Why is it showing me 1, 2, 3? Okay, good. So I like to do this. Remove grid lines. Okay, remove. I will remove the vertical axis and add. Sorry. There's something I'm supposed to add again now.
If this meeting goes off, I'll create another.
Yes.
Let me create now.
Okay, so. Yep. I don't know what. No, I'm not asking it for. Okay, cool. Out of curiosity, I'm just going to do this instead.
Okay, so can you just pause? Let
me do that. When inflation was 2.65, we had 1,449. When it was higher, it went up. When it was higher again, it went up. Right? When it became lower, it came down. It became higher, it went up, but it became slightly lower and it went down. It went up still. Oh, okay. This is interesting. Are you guys noticing this?
Yes.
So when it became month 1 to 4, it affected it positively. Inflation, it was a positive correlation. Now, between month 4 between month 5 to month 7, as it went higher, it affected it. It came down lower, it went up. When it became higher, it came down. I don't know if you guys get.
Yes.
So now you need to, when what is higher, when inflation is higher, sales
This is
come.
inflation. This is inflation by month, right? 1, 2, 3 to 12. Is that not?
So
So
when
month 1, this is what it is. Can you guys see my screen clearly? Let me bold in this stuff.
yeah, boarding is so that we can.
Yes, we can see. We can see. I can see.
Okay, so let me add a bold, more. Let it be more. I'm going to remove axis, vertical axis. I'm also going to bolden this guy. So you notice that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 12, which is what we have for the factor month, right? So this is
Yes.
month on month. Now it was 2.65. You guys can see it clearly, right?
Yes.
Okay. It was 2.65. It was this value. Average.
That is sales. That is total sales.
Sorry.
Some.
Okay. Oh.
Yes, quantity sold. Quantity. The total quantity sold.
So I'm going to, I think I'll combine the two. If we are using average, we should use, there's something my boss always say, like with like. So I'm just going to add this guy. No, it's just weird. Okay, I think, what should I do? Right click, go to select data, you know. Let me switch and see. Oh, this is just weird. I think I should add a secondary. You can do that here, right?
We don't know.
So I wanted to add a secondary. I wanted to add a secondary axis so that it should. I think we can do. Wait, we can do that.
I know we can do that in Power BI.
Yeah, you can do that in Power BI, but I think you can also do that here. Let me see. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. Oh, God, help me. Okay.
Or is it the trend 9?
Oh, let's see the trend. I'll see. Let's click on trend. Average sold. Not doing anything. Let's do linear forecast and see. The average sold. I want to do this. It's not really changing anything. I think you can. I'm just trying to figure out how.
Except if you do pivot.
Yeah, so I pivoted the table. And it's not really doing anything. But okay, cool. I'm going to do two. This is one, and I would select these two guys, right? And do the other.
Select and right click if it will give us the option. I mean, select all the data.
Oh, sorry. Select all the data, right click.
Right click. Is there anything like a format data series?
No, there's a format cell.
No, it's format data series. I just checked it on ChatGPT, so I'm reading out.
That ChatGPT is sometimes can lead somebody to different kind of problem.
Can lead you to lead you astray.
So I think I'm also going to, again, I'm just curious to put this guy here. And let's see again. I don't know what these guys, why the month on month is always showing. The month on month will still show, but okay, so cool. That's fine. I'm going to put data label. I'll add. So I wanted to add this marker, grid line. Remove this guy and go to format chart area. There's this marker I can add for some weird reason. Line marker. Sorry, please. I was just trying to see what was happening. Option. Okay, good. I'll change the color to black. No. Okay, so so it's the border, then the fill. I'm going to change it to black. And this guy too, the same thing. Automatic. I'll change the fill color to red. I'm not very good with visualization.
Yeah. No problem. JC is there for us.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so let's see. This is one of the trends by average, right? So we are comparing likes with like. So average. This is the month 1, 2, 3, like that. When inflation was 2.56, the average was 45.8. So it went up. It went up. It came down. Oh, it went up. Okay, the inflation went up and it came down. Oh, okay, it still went up, right? Yeah, 57%.
Just a moment now. So the blue line is inflation, right? And
Yes,
the orange is average quantity sold.
Yes, as you can see here.
Good.
So
when inflation was this 2.4 in January.
2.65.
So we sold. I can see. Okay, so when it was 2.65, we sold average. We sold 45.2.
Can you guys see it now?
Yes.
So I think I can relate now. I can relate to it now.
So you'll be able to give an
Insight.
inference, right?
Yes. That is me. I don't know for others.
Can you guys give an inference from here?
Please explain.
So we are trying to do a correlation between, you know what correlation means? One is dependent on the other. That's what correlation means. So if I move my right, it will move left. If I move left, it will move right. So I would say that maybe, let's say Mr. Sonny, for instance, he goes right, he goes his right way, and I go left. That can be a coincidence. But if he goes his left and I go right, so what you can say that there's a correlation between me and Mr. Sonny, and I move in opposite direction to him. I don't know if that makes sense.
Can we say correlation is like a relationship that
It's a relationship, yeah. So it can be positive or negative.
Okay.
You understand? So that's what correlation, the word, means. So we're trying to check inflation and quantity. But if we are going to take average by month on month average of inflation, then it just makes sense for us to take average sold quantity. You understand? So because we are comparing like with like. I don't know if that makes sense.
We are comparing like to like.
Yeah, like my
I'm lost. I'm sorry. So let me say, okay, for example, this month 7 now, I'm going to see it has a negative impact because the average quantity sold was lower, while the
was
inflation rate tends
was
to be
high.
higher.
Yeah, but we are trying to see if there is a pattern. You understand? So like 2.65, you have 45. When it was 3.09, you have 57. It went up. When it was 3.14, which is higher than the previous month, it still went up, right? When
Yes.
it was 2.288, it went down.
Okay.
The inflation went down, so did quantity sold. But when it was 3.0, when it was 3.25, which is up, inflation went up, quantity went up. It now it came down, it went down. So I can say there's a relationship between month 1 to 6 positively. There's a positive correlation from month 1 to 6 between inflation rate and
Which,
average sold quantity. But now at month 7, it's inflation went up, but this guy came down.
yes.
So it can be a coincidence. This might be a coincidence because this is the first time we are seeing that inflation went up, price went
And it's
down, right?
down.
It's
Yes.
coincidence. It's one, or the rest of the data between month 1 to 6 was, as it's going up, is going up. If it's coming, inflation is coming down,
It's coming
price
down.
is coming down. But this is a coincidence. So this is a coincidence. Now let's check for the following month. As it went up, so we had 3.11, 3.22. So inflation went up.
Went up.
It quantity sold went up, average quantity. It came down, that's to 3.09, quantity came down, right?
Yes.
But 3 point,
Inflation went down and it's
but quantity
high.
went up. It's still coming down. Okay, it's coming down. It Oh, this is weird. So we have like 3 points where it was just weird. Month 12, month 10, and month 7. So you can say, in my head, there's a positive correlation between inflation rate and average sold quantity, except for this month. Does that make sense?
Yes, please.
Mr. Sonia, I don't know if that makes sense.
It does, sir. It does.
So I think we've answered that question. And we can still test for total sold though, right? If you guys want to move further and see
Yeah.
if,
Please,
just
this
to,
the two queries you have done. Sorry, please. The two queries. Can you drop it on the chat?
I will just save the, let me just copy. I will copy everything. Let me just copy everything.
Okay, you save and send us the
The file.
file. That's the good.
No, I've already done the work. You will do the work again. I'm just going to send you the query.
This man.
Okay, let me do this, paste and paste so it appears like code.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys can do this. I forgot. So the other thing you need to do is also to document the documentation. So you write comments. So I'm supposed to write because it will just make it easier. Please, it's really important. So if you want to add comment, you either do dot dot or hyphen hyphen, or you do / asterisk, then end it with asterisk, then /. So you've commented. So you can save. In this case, what are we trying to do? We are trying to view factors table, and Should I do the comment? Maybe I'll do it and send it to you guys. Right?
Yes,
okay, cool. So let me not use this time to waste that. I said we're trying to do average inflation rate now by sum sold quantity, and that's because we are just trying to test the theory to see if it is correct for both of them. So I'm just going to increase this guy. I'll bring it here so that we'll put it close to this side. We'll come down a little. So we are done with the first one, right? Or let me just reduce it. If I reduce, can you guys see the screen? Can you guys see?
No, me, I can't. If you reduce it too much, no one can see.
No, but can you see it now like this?
Yes, if I zoom, I can see.
Okay, good. I'm going to add data label. I would remove vertical. I would remove grid because I'll go to format chart. I remove grid lines. Why is this showing grid? Oh, cool. I'm going to go to line and go to marker option, auto. I'll do black, and I'll just put no border and do the same thing for this guy. I'll do red and I'll put no border. Oh, and auto, and it will give me, it is supposed to give me that. That's weird. Oh, fill. Yeah, did I put border? Sorry please. Oh, anyways. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, I'm done. So we'll do for total sold quantity by month on month and inflation. So inflation is 2.65. It's this. It went up. This guy went up. It went up again. The quantity went up. Inflation came down. Quantity sold came down. It went up. Quantity sold went up. It came down. Yeah, so it came down. So at month 6 is a coincidence, right? Because this is 3.25, this is 3.03, and this is 2,355. What we have here at month 6 is 3,044. Now when inflation went up, quantity sold came down. When it further went up, quantity sold went up. When it came down, quantity sold came down. When it came down again. Please, are you guys following?
Yes.
Well, so when the inflation rate came down, quantity sold went up. So we have month 6 and 10. Here we have month 7, 10 and 12. So this is 6, 10. Now when inflation came down, quantity sold came down. When it went up, quantity sold went up. So which one are you guys intending to use? You can use any of them. You can say, when we did by average this thing, we found out that it's correlated except for 7, 10, and month 12. But when we did for average inflation rate against total quantity sold, we found out that it was positively correlated. There was a correlation, but except for month 6 and month 10.
Yes.
I don't know. Does that answer the question?
Yes, you see, the truth is this to me. what you have done now has really, really opened our minds to this question. And it makes a lot of sense now more than ever. Now, if I'm to look at this thing holistically, should we not say that inflation rate does not correlate with, okay,
Because if you look at the count, the month count, you have 12. The first one
yes,
was only 3. The second one was only 2. So if you want to talk based on popularity, what would you say? It means that those 2 or 3 are exception to the rules, right?
okay,
So you will say most often that, let me use the language. It's English. Most often than not, I don't know if that makes sense.
it does.
So most often than not, it's correlated. Then you now give so you can either say most often than not. So if you say most often than not, they know that there is an exception to the rule, or you say it is correlated except for this. So you now tell the exception.
Okay.
You can't use, you look at what is the. So I will give, for instance, I gave somebody this scenario. If, for instance, you usually follow a particular road, and you mostly find out that maybe on a work day, it's usually there's usually go slow, right? And only for weekends is usually free. What will you say? In 7 days, you have 5 days that there's go slow.
Except for Saturday and Sunday.
Sunday. Mr. Sonny, I don't know if that.
Yes,
If you have objection, you can argue. This is
but you know me now. You know me now. I always argue when I need to argue.
Okay. So I don't know if that has answered it.
Yes, I think it has answered it because from the video we watched from where we are learning, like the tutor that was doing the tutorial, she just saw this amount in the tabular form. And if you want to present to a stakeholder, most of them don't understand numbers. They want to see it visually. Is it going up and down? They don't have time to come and start cracking heads.
Yeah.
So maybe with this chart, you'll be able to draw your own conclusions also.
Exactly.
You're able to
That's
draw
why I
your
say thank you for this perspective. We can, the three of us or the three of us, we can actually put it in our slides so that they'll say this is exceptional performance.
Yeah, you always want to go. You always want to go. Above and beyond. I can understand from the tutor's perspective. First of all, the experience. Secondly, the reason why the issue of seasonality. I'm mentioning seasonality, and that's because I actually did I did a internship in data science. So that is why. So I'm always looking for trends and pattern and stuff like that. I would have to go now. It's almost 5. I actually didn't know this was going to happen.
Yeah, we really, really
Really
appreciate.
appreciate.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Lee.
No problem.
Why, if I may answer, why is